Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Founding Father, and this is ARS 45 Podcast. Welcome back to the show, folks. Another installment. This one's another sort of catch up. Trying to get back to the weekly schedule. Of course, life is funny, and life has its own ways of kind of putting hurdles and obstacles in the path of progress. But we are here again for another installment of ARS 45, the show that goes 45 minutes or less or more, talking about the lovely things in the world of anime, manga, video games, and all things geeky. That being said, with myself, I have been pretty much entangled with a lot of not geeky things lately. Just keeping ceilings from leaking sort of things. So that has kept me away from some of the more interesting matters that have been going on lately in the sphere. But let's talk about it. This is going to be a catch up. So it's going to be a blend of things here. We are very much in the fall season. We got the coats now. The time has fallen back. The pumpkins are here. The sweet potatoes are here. And we've got a whole new season of anime that is just out here, taking names left and right. So let's get on to some of the rundown that the rest stop's been checking out in between. It's been talking about certain things here. Let's get into it. So, of course, on the top of the list for the fall season, can't talk about anime and not talk about the ace of the place, and that is Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer returns with the Mugen Train arc in TV form. So, given that the movie was a super success, pretty much dominating box offices across the board, being the top draw of Japan in every film element, not just anime film, overall film, massive draw. The draw, if you will. Now, Demon Slayer returns in TV form with Mugen Train, to extend things out. Of course, watching that closely for some potential new scenes, perhaps, given matters. But for everyone else that just loves Demon Slayer and loves the mix with Tanjiro and company, well, this is just more of what you love. So, of course, we still have the Entertainment District arc forthcoming. So this is just a little distraction for the time being. And this has definitely hit matters within our social media, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Discord. Definitely check us out on social media for that. But Demon Slayer is at the top of the list. We have a few other interesting titles that joined the fray. Komi Can't Communicate adaptation from its popular manga, now turned anime, that is streaming on Netflix, where Demon Slayer, of course, you could catch on Funny and Crunchy, I believe. Komi Can't Communicate is on Netflix, and pretty much not bad animation at all. Very stellar deal, just from the opening. Very, very pretty show. And Komi, without going too in the weeds, is adorable, given just some of the just given the main situation. So Komi Can't Communicate is the story about this girl who can't make friends, and not from lack of trying. Um, if anything, this podcaster recommends you watch the show. Um, give the first episode a try, see if you like it. Um, there are interesting things, interesting commentary coming out of the weekly run of this show, as the show is running on Netflix on a weekly schedule, as opposed to the older system of getting all the show and just putting it up there. It's doing the weekly fray, much similar to what Crunchy and Funny and the others have done. So very interesting element there. But to Comey Can't Communicate itself, it is a comedy that definitely seeks to entertain. It does certainly check it out. I am checking it out, so that tells you a story there. Comey Can't Communicate on the list for sure. Then there's Platinum End, which was anticipated, and it's on the list here. From the same creators of Death Note comes this story that's kind of a blend of things. Some call it Death Note Light or reverse Death Note with a mix of, Battle Royale. But another interesting addition to the fall lineup that has people talking and is worth checking out, just given the animation quality. Given everything, animation quality across this season is looking quite good. One of the more interesting entries in the fall season comes from Studio Mappa and Madhouse, and this is a shout to the old Otaku of the Mountain, who recommended this show to me, and that is Tac Op, which handles an interesting matter of magical girls in music, and pretty much goes about executing it in a way that is quite unique for itself. So pretty much for this one, the world's been devoid of music, and it can't play music for reasons of bringing out these creatures, apparently. So these D2s that come out, and every time music plays, these creatures emerge. Now you have conductors that summon these Musarks to combat them, and it makes for an interesting dynamic here. And for this story, the conductor is Tac, and his Musark is Destiny, hence the name of the show, Tac Op Destiny. Is Cosette, and their dynamic as a team is quite enjoyable. Animation is simply gorgeous to watch. I was very impressed with the first episode. I definitely recommend it to anyone that hasn't checked it out yet to certainly check it out. And then we have some returning titles to the fray for the fall. We have 86 season 2. 86 surprised everybody back in the previous season, doing well for itself, even for some of the mix of like CG in this mecha series about drones and putting people through this war. It still managed to impress, and now it has a second season for itself. So definitely one on the list. For those who have followed Anime Rest Stop for some time, our love for robots, great and small, is quite apparent. Also, of course, with the Mecha Love, Moo Love comes back. The Moo Love alternative continues the fairly successful series. So, if anything, fall has a blend of things for everybody to check out. But those are some of the top titles on the list for ARS. Of course, this podcaster ask everyone here, what are you watching? Definitely throw something out there on social media. Let us know what you like. What's tickling the fancy for the fall. So besides some of the fall titles, and we just named a couple of those. I just named a couple of those. Few other notes that have happened over the course of things. We have the announcement for Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro is getting a second season. First season was quite enjoyable, very funny, very funny. Hope to talk about that sometime in the future. But looks like it's going to keep going, and that's actually a good sign for a fairly successful manga to have an anime that goes more than one season. So good times there, very good times. Of course, good times are awaiting everybody because we're approaching the debut of Cowboy Bebop live action. Of course, another trailer hit, big trailer. There's some effort being placed here by Netflix when it's not Netflix putting the Japanese cast, the original Japanese Seiyu cast to reprise their roles for the alternative audio. It's some of the scenes they're trying to pull off here. Some of the details from Cowboy Bebop, from the original Bebop anime. So, as I stated before in my previous episode, this does not affect Bebop's legacy. Be it, if it works and does really well, and gets new fans, is it an add-on? Sure, for most. But Cowboy Bebop, original Cowboy Bebop, is superb and has endured and garnered generations of fans for a reason. It's got a legacy for a reason. The definition of cool, Cowboy Bebop. So, we wait with bated breath to see what happens. But all in all, it's another Netflix live action series, and you take that for what it's worth. Some have been good, some have not been good, some have been like weird and have inspired internet memes. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Moving on, we've got Macross Plus, of course. Macross Plus was announced for a theatrical in December 14th, actually, which happens to be the birthday of this said podcaster. So that's very interesting. Fathom Event will be bringing Macross Plus to theaters. This will be the subtitled version of the film, which is kind of funny. I brought up Bebop just before this. Macross Plus marks the directorial debut of one Shinichiro Watanabe, who would go on to, of course, make history with Cowboy Bebop. So kind of funny how that works. But Macross Plus, people get a chance to experience this amazing this amazing work of art. A um, great addition to the Macross franchise. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Can't speak, enough about Macross Plus, and especially for those who look at its dub history. Um, very, very good stuff there. So we've had a lot of things happen in the sphere, obviously, and you know, as we're catching up with things, the really the biggest news is just hit. Spy Family, the very noted, very popular Shonen Jump manga, has recently been announced for adaptation, for anime adaptation. So interesting times. Studio Wit and Cloverworks will be handling the project. It's got quite the roster of talent assembled on hand. Kazuhiro Furuhashi will be directing this, and of course Furuhashi, very known for his work on Rurouni Kenshin, um, Get Backers, Gundam Unicorn, particularly my all-time favorite Gundam series. So good times there, and all of this comes, of course, from ANN, courtesy of ANN. You've got Studio Wit, of course, known for quite a few things. Attack on Titan much, Vinland Saga much. You've got Kazuaki Shimada, who recent work was Promised Neverland, handling the character designs and the music production. Is going to be handled by No Name, who's known for recently for Dorohedoro, which had very good music production. So I am interested. At the same time, I'm also saddened, just on a personal element. I'm very happy that Tetsuya Endo's work is going to that next level. At the same time, it's a thing where your favorite band is now has gone platinum, so now everybody knows your favorite band. So now your favorite band is everyone else's favorite band now. So that's what I'm going through. Going through those feels. Just I'm happy. I'm also sad. But no, very, very good times for Spy Family as it moves on up, and Shonen Jump gets another ace in. Just as people are awaiting, Chainsaw Man to come out, they'll have Spy Family come out as well. 2022 is looking interesting. So this is set to come out in 2022. So next year is coming down the pipe pretty fast, and there's some interesting things on the other side. So definitely something to look forward to. Let's see, we've got so much hitting in the queue. It's literally a hodgepodge of news here, and of course news doesn't stop because we've got Crunchyroll. Of course, Crunchyroll, is hosting a lot of these shows. A lot of them, not all of them, but portions of them. They are rolling out dubs. They've got dubs. So Platinum End, Odd Taxi, Miss Nagatoro, among others, will be getting dubs. So you know, very interesting times for the business. Um, Looking at, sorry about that, folks. Had to readjust matters, and we have a pretty large dub announcement here. So there's few things. It's that few things are getting dubs from Crunchyroll. It's Platinum N, Odd Taxi, Don't Toy with Me, Miss Nagatoro, Sakugan, uh, Seirei Gensoki, Spirit Chronicles, uh, The Faraway Paladin, the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat, and 86 all getting dubs. And they're getting dubs, starting next month into 2022. So definitely check out your Crunchyroll for these titles, because a lot of really solid talent attached across the board from all of these titles. Um, Very, very intriguing times. Just to give you an example of some of the talent attached um, to these anime titles. For instance, the Odd Taxi dub, which is due to premiere January 16th, um, directed by Bill Millsap. He's going to be the director of the dub. Is going to have a pretty good list of talent. Mike McFarlane, Lucian Dodge, Zeno Robinson, uh, Damon Mills, Lauren Landa, Sean Chiplock, and Caitlin Glass. So a lot of good little blend of talent for sure. Um, Definitely worth checking out, and that's not the only one, of course. As stated, if you're a fan of these titles, and certainly if you like English dubs, there's some interesting casting across the board. Definitely mark your calendars for these titles. Definitely keep an eye out as you go through the queue on Crunchy. On that note, folks, we're gonna take a brief break, and then we're gonna come back with some other interesting news, especially given we're in the fall season and we're into that lovely time of year. No, not Christmas. No, not Thanksgiving. No, the other one. We'll be back. Stay. And we're back. So, more interesting news coming out of the fray. We've got pro wrestling and cosplay blending this time of year. I mean, pro wrestling kind of has that typically on a normal basis, considering it's you get your wacky characters that play wacky characters. You get those over the top personalities. But in this case, fitness model and professional wrestler Jade Cargill decided to show her fandom and cosplay the one, the only Mirko from My Hero Academia. And she's not the only one to join in the fray of that. She's also joined by Sunny Kiss, who decided to team up for this cosplay as well. A lot of love for My Hero Academia, and of course it's Halloween, so why not? Of course, as I said, pro wrestling and cosplay, not strangers to each other. Of course, not the only AEW wrestlers to cosplay, as we have seen in history, in recent history, whether it's the Elite cosplaying, Ghostbusters, Street Fighter, whether it's just Kenny Omega himself cosplaying Kirito from Sword Art for his ring entrance, or whether he's coming out as the Terminator once upon a time in New Japan, and whether it's even looking at a constant cosplayer Leva Bates. So there's no shortage of cosplayers in the pro wrestling circuit. So very good times, very interesting times, and because of the this time of year, you got the pumpkin spice, you got your you got all your favorites out there. Normally, Halloween recommends are a thing. So for ARS, let's look at it for a bit. Halloween. There's plenty of things we could recommend, and some of which you've heard on this show. If you look at ARS 45 Rewind, there's Vampire Hunter D. That's always good. That's good anytime, not just Halloween, but you could definitely watch it for Halloween for sure. But if I had to go on the recent chat, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is quite the horror series, especially those that first episode just really hits hard where it needs to in every sense of the word. No, by and far as a TV series. Okay, what's TV? What about movie? Obviously, the Mugen Train movie is scary. Manga wise, as far as like reads go, anything from Junji Ito in Demon Slayer. That's it. No, folks, there's plenty of horror anime out there, but if anything, you wouldn't go wrong on those recommendations alone. But if you have anything to say about it, definitely throw a line on social media. I will certainly be available for comments, as well as the rest of the page. Twitter, Facebook. Like to join the Discord, the Stay a While Discord. Just let me know. I'd love to chat on that. With that said, we're gonna take a brief break, and we're gonna come back for more. Stay tuned, folks. ARS 45. We're back again, folks, and of course, this side of the show is always a tough one. Jack Angel passed away recently. Very, very sound voice actor, voice of a generation. A career that spanned years, many years. Literally my childhood. That man had been working is longer than I've been alive. So just from Transformers, G.I. Joe, prominently he was very known as King Zarkon and Commander Cossack from Voltron. And it did various roles throughout the years. He was Nick Fury in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. He was Mountain Marco, I believe, in the 1980s Spider-Man cartoon. So, definite legend. Passed away at the age of 90. Lived a long life. Very sound career. Will definitely be missed. Saori Sugimoto, Seiyu, who passed away recently. She very known for being Catherine Bloom in Gundam Wing, among other roles. She played in Saze-san. She definitely did a few things in the industry, and she passed away at the age of 58. Definitely, definitely was a solid worker. in her respect, especially for her role in Shimajiro, which quite some time, it is very very prominent role there. Um, will certainly be missed undoubtedly by her fans, and undoubtedly this this uh, this next individual, he undoubtedly be missed. Um, Love and laughter always. Those were the words that spread throughout my Twitter feed when I got home, and I got news of Christopher Ayers, uh, beloved voice actor, friend, um, all in all, great personality, passed away um, after fighting so many health issues. Never lost his positivity. Of course, he's done many roles. There's who's who between his time in ADV, his time in Funimation, definitive talent. But the person is certainly that night that it was revealed by his love of his life, Crystal Laporte, I believe. The man and what he stood for, what he represented, was celebrated throughout that week up to now. Some of our own have had the pleasure of meeting Chris, meeting his brother Greg. Of course, our condolences to everyone affected, across the board, because it's been such a tremendous time, just dealing with so much. And Chris, I have never seen so many people like come together like they did for Chris, in that respect. Rest in peace to Chris Ayers for all he's done, for the lessons that he left with so many, and there's a list that just goes on. The luminaries and others that he's affected in such a positive way, and as things go on, that people will remember him, remember not just the roles he played in anime and what he did for things as far as being like a fight choreographer and the like, but they'll remember the person and the positivity that he brought with him at every convention and with every fan, with every fellow voice actor, that they'll remember that and make that his a standing legacy moving forward, of just being good people, because he was great, and it's sad that he left us so soon. Rest in peace to Chris and to all those we've lost this year. With that said, folks, we're gonna take our last break, and we will return to wrap things up here for ARS 45. Stand by, everyone. And we are back, everyone, to ARS 45. We are now going into the Geek Gashapon side of things. Just some notes as so many things have happened. So New York Comic Con returned to a live capacity audience, just awaiting to bask in the glory of fandom. And apparently, that fandom rose to the number of over 150,000 people in attendance during the midst of COVID 19, with safety protocols in place. It seems that conventions are coming back as vaccinations have increased and other safety protocols have been gauged. So very, very interesting times. Of course, with New York Comic Con, some noted industry leaders were missing from the event, such as Marvel presence and DC presence. Well, DC would, do their own thing in DC fandom, and roll out a lot of different trailers for things, some of which have premiered on HBO Max as of that day, such as Young Justice Phantoms, the latest season of Young Justice. Of course, the Batman trailer for the Rob Pattinson led Batman movie. Peacemaker, the crazy TV series starring John Cena as Peacemaker. And of course, you had some other rollouts with Black Adam starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, full trailer, which looked quite imposing. Shazam 2, among others. So, not a bad fare from DC fandom, given matters. We even got a Catwoman anime out of the mix that looks fairly. I'm interested. I want to see what comes of that. Outside of that, since then, the Eternals movie came out, and we have no comment on that officially. More to come from the ARS side of things when talking about the Eternals. 16-bit sushi news here. So we have a couple of things to explore. PS5 restocks are afoot, I guess, after certain updates and certain events rolling out a few exclusives. Yeah, it's time. It's time. Now, of course, Sony and many others are working against some real life issues with supply chain hurdles that have occurred globally. But the restocks are going to be afoot. Actually, are afoot as we speak. Between Best Buy, Target, and of course GameStop. So there you go. PS5's coming. PS5s are getting back in stock, and Demon Slayer, with its most recent game hitting shelves, the Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. I'm probably butchering the name off the top of my head, but it is the fighting game. Apparently, has done very well for itself. 1 million copies sold, digital and physical together. 1 million copies. Demon Slayer once again dominant in its performance. So when in doubt, Demon Slayer's just it. That's it. And last but not least, Cyberpunk has some updates. However, some of those updates, because of the initial roadmap, and with all things withstanding, has been pushed. Some of those updates have been pushed over into 2022. Just the unfortunately, that is the name of the game these days, with DLC and especially with games, with the demand of games these days. hope to actually go further into the fray because gonna want to do a 16-bit special next month, and hoping to bring some of your favorite co-hosts into the mix to actually talk about some of the more intriguing things that have occurred throughout the year in gaming, and what we have to look forward to over that lovely horizon. With that said, folks, that will conclude this edition of ARS 45. I am Chris, founding father. This is not my foundry, but you can find me at ARS Founder on Twitter. Also, you can check out the ARS Twitter as well as Facebook, not to mention Twitch, where a lot of things go down. So definitely check your social media hubs for fun and cognitive calamity. With that said, thank you again. Be safe, be vigilant, and I'll talk to you again soon.